I was a porn addict for more than a decade. It took me years before I made it to 1 week on nofap for the first time, and that just made things worse because now I had experienced it. I had experienced what it felt like, and it felt fucking amazing, and I knew it. But I would rarely ever get past day 3 until one day, one experience changed it all for me. Today, I don't remember the last time I relapsed. I want to help you get there too. Let's begin. For more than a decade, I'd been a porn addict, and for most of that decade, I didn't think there was anything wrong with it. Even after I found out about nofap, I didn't initially bother changing things for myself. Just like with any form of addiction, I initially fooled myself into believing I don't even want to quit. And this phase lasted for years. But over time, this thought started to nag away at me. I share this with all of my clients for anything new that I'm trying to get them to do. I'll share it with you as well. At least try it before shitting on it. At least try it before deciding that it's not for you. So this thought that was nagging away at me was, let me see what this hype is all about. Let me go 1 week without fapping. And I failed that very day. Again, I tried the next day. Again, I failed on the very same day. This happened like 10 more times before I realized I think I've got a problem. I remember it took me over a year of trying to get to 1 week for the first time, and it felt amazing. Those of you who've succeeded at this before, you know what I'm talking about. It's a weird energy that you feel. You feel more masculine, more powerful, more confident. Your willpower is higher. You feel that energy when you're talking to women. But this experience just made things worse because now I had experienced the benefits. I had seen how much better I felt when I actually kept myself from touching my pee-pee for a while, but I would almost never reach that point. Even if I did, a couple of days max before I would be back to square zero. For years and years, I struggled with this until one day. I'll be honest, it wasn't just this. At this point, I'd already started working on myself in other aspects of life. I'd started this YouTube channel. I was meditating and journaling every day. Gym was going better than ever. I was actively working on my social skills, my confidence, all of it. And then came this day. This one fateful day. I had no idea what was coming. We used to have this cleaner at that time. We had recently gotten him a new phone just a few days ago, and he comes to me this one day asking me to help him set something up on his phone. You see where this is going. Thankfully, he wasn't with me when this happened, or it would have been an awkward few days after that. So he comes to me, he hands me his phone, asks me to set something up, and he leaves me with it. I don't even remember what it was that he wanted help with. I just remember that I couldn't find the setting on his phone. So I opened up his browser to look it up. And I was greeted to dozens and dozens of tabs of porn. Trust me, you have never seen this much porn in front of your eyes at one time. Seeing it, my first thought was, has he not closed his tabs in months? And then I remembered we had gotten him the phone just 3 days ago. I instantly started judging him. In that one moment, I could feel myself starting to lose respect for him, and the immediate next thought in my mind was, if I lost respect for him for doing it, I'm losing respect for myself as well every time I do it. I also felt this strong sense of disgust toward porn itself, thinking how every man today is indulging in it, and so how this one thing has basically emasculated all the men around me. I instantly formed this perception in my mind of this thing as something that was beneath me. And that was the key to me getting over this lifelong addiction. That was the day I stopped watching porn forever. Now, counter to what you might think at this point, I am not asking you to go through the search history of people you know. Here is how you implement this for yourself. Belief. The reason you keep falling back to your addiction despite your best efforts, belief. You see yourself as a fapper, so no matter what you do, no matter how hard you try, you fall right back to it. The key to overcoming this addiction is to start seeing yourself as someone who is better than this, as someone who has the capability to overcome his urges, as someone who is stronger than this addiction. How do you do that? Do the opposite of what you've been doing all these years. In your mind, you constantly replay memories of the times you failed. Any time you think about nofap, you think back to the time when you were doing so good, when you were on day 5, day 8, day 10, and you failed. When you repeatedly keep thinking about your failures, you start to see yourself as a failure. So instead, purposefully make yourself think about all the times you didn't fail. If you failed on day 4, for instance, think about how good you did till day 3. It's all about what you choose to focus on. Do this enough times and you will subconsciously start seeing yourself as someone who is better than this. You'll start seeing yourself as someone who doesn't fap, someone who isn't addicted to this vice. Everything changed for me when I changed my belief. I started to see this addiction as disgusting and myself as better than it. And after years and years of trying and failing, I finally got over this addiction overnight without even trying. That is the power of belief. That's what I have for you today, boys. Make your dreams a reality, one day at a time.